All right, hello, welcome to Roll With It, episode 8. Today we are still on the BrigadeCon videos where we're going to talk about inspiration that we've received from them. This one will be accents and voices. So, Chris, I'll let you take it away. Oh, and today, by the way, we have Jaren with us and my lovely girlfriend in the background, as you guys remember from last video.
Right. Yeah, there was a really great video panel on voices. Actually, there were two of them during BrigadeCon, and I caught a bunch of, I didn't get to watch it all yet, but I caught a bunch of the one with Mike Lasham, aka Mike the Piper, and Chad Nick, and it was pretty good. It was, thing for me was that I've always been really hesitant to do voices and accents. I have characters that I would like to do that, but I've always kind of struggled with it. When I would read to the kids when they were growing up, I had no problem doing voices, but for whatever reason, I'm really stymied when it comes to characters that I'm playing, and I think a lot of it's just that I have a hard time sustaining the voice or accent that I go for. And these guys had some really good advice about, like, it is, kind of came down in a nutshell to, you probably are going to feel a little awkward at first. Just jump in, stick with it, and do it. And so I was inspired to ask Nate if he would run a play test or even a one-shot that would be largely an RP situation that would allow us a chance to try doing voices or an accent or something. And I'm actually willing to put myself out there, but I realized I only wanted to do it with people I felt really safe and comfortable with, people who see my silly side or see me, goof up, and that I know aren't going to judge me for it or give me a hard time, that I just feel super comfortable with our group. So I don't know if our group's going to want to do it, but Nate said he was game, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. I have this bard character that I wanted to do a particular accent with, and I'm hoping that I can get through a whole session and sustain it and have it really work. So that was my bit.
All right, I also want to come with my own bit as DM. And there are many different ways that you can imply different accents of people. Some, it's just how they speak. Other ones is actually how you project your voice. And this will also help anybody who has problems with speaking themselves. So essentially, a lot of men that have higher pitched voices like mine, they try speaking down from their throat. Over time, this can actually hurt your throat. And some men just speak naturally nasally through their nose. So when you're trying to change your voice, and if you want to work on your own speaking, there's something you want to speak through. It's called your mask, which is, you can feel it right here. When you're speaking, you should feel a slight vibration, kind of in where your throat's at and where your nose is. I actually learned this from a video called The Art of Manliness, if anybody's actually willing to look that up. But just kind of play with it, and you can actually test it out by saying, and just keep on saying that. And when you can feel it in a place right where your nose at, where it vibrates, that's when you know you're speaking through your mask. And through that, then you can also experiment by speaking more through your throat or more through your nose if you just want to change the pitch of your voice, which can change the way a character's voice sounds. Especially as a DM, it's easy and useful to do this. That way, people, your players, can tell which character is speaking. That way you don't have to just rely on contextual clues, you can also rely on the sound of your voice. If you're willing to be more brave, I recommend you just listening to different people's accents, especially just watching different shows. You can pick up on accents pretty naturally. And if you still need help from there's many different YouTube videos that will be able to teach you to talk like Grom, or some other different accent that you wish to try using. As a DM, I only have about 5 accents I can do really well, and I make every character I have use a different accent within those 5, and then I also have to make them have a different pitch. So really, just knowing a few accents can really change your game and make many different variables for different voices and kind of bring it more to life than just having one plain voice the entire game.
I find that I can sometimes mimic an accent for a brief time. Like, I'll be listening to somebody with, say, a British accent, and I might be able to mimic it briefly, but I can't. I don't know, for whatever reason, I guess we'll see. Maybe with practice it'll come, but I feel like maybe I don't have an ear or something for it, but we'll see.
I'm really silly about it. Emily's actually heard me do it, but I'll practice the voice all day long. And I'll basically, phrases that I do, they're like trigger phrases. And then through those phrases, I can get back into the accent just by saying them a few times. So like my Braun voice is always, first we fight, then we eat. And just by that, it kind of gets me back into that accent I have. Or then there's my Scottish, which I don't know, I'm always, I'm kind of better at that one. I can just kind of pull it up. There was no trigger phrase for it. I just always been kind of able to grasp it. But I think it's because my mom used to mimic that one all the time.
So definitely some good ideas. I know when I first started, I was very nervous as well. And part of that's because of my speech impediment. I wasn't sure how adding voice acting would affect that, and people would still be able to understand me, etc. So I was pretty nervous first starting out. And one of the things that actually helped me that wasn't really brought up in this video was as I learned through Don Birchcast, actually. And that was as for little methods of altering your own voice but keeping it within your own range. And that just by talking a little bit deeper, little bit higher, little bit faster, a little bit slower than you normally do. So that's how I first learned to voices, was by implementing that. And then I started to expand. Once I got comfortable with those, I started to expand into some of the different accents and not always even using an accent. I may do a Scottish character or a dwarf urban character because that's what we commonly use Scottish for. And never actually use the accent, but use phrases that they would use, kind of carry the mannerisms that a Scottish tough guy would have. So that kind of brought the characters to life too. But I was really impressed with Chad and Mike the Piper's video. It was a blast to watch. And one of the things that caught my attention that I never would have considered when they talked about practicing the voice is using a mirror.
Yeah. Like you would do for a speech or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'll practice a voice when, like, I'm reading a book, fantasy novel. I'll actually read it aloud and put voices to the characters. But I would have never thought of watching in the mirror to see how your facial reactions are with the voice. It's kind of the big thing I took from their video.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting advice. I mean, you hear that about speeches all the time, but I don't think I'd ever. I mean, I haven't really researched much about voices either. So, but I do feel like that was the first time I'd heard that as a technique for perfecting them.
Yeah,
so,
I've never done
I know that like pitch is something I think I played with a lot, reading out loud to the kids, but the actual accents are kind of beyond me. But yeah, it's not so hard to like pitch your voice up and down, and I forget that that's a simple way to change it up. I'd never think about that when I'm playing a character, and that would be a really good starting point. So I'll have to think about what the pitch of the voice should be for the characters I'm playing now, and think about just maybe even playing with that for a little bit.
Yeah, and not just pitch, but like the speed they talk
Right, like the
can
speech
be
patterns.
a big thing, and
How they
maybe
present themselves.
slang term like a wee little leprechaun, top of the morning lad. uh, just kind of that uh, almost trigger phrase is like Nate said, because that's how I use them as a trigger. But just kind of that slang, that kind of accent we use can do a lot for allowing you to slip into that voice very naturally.
Mm-hmm. Another thing I also do too is I try taking them from characters that I already know and like.
Yeah.
Like Braun, obviously, from anybody who's a League of Legends player, and I literally took his name as well. I really love his character, and I love the way he sounds. Well, one last thing I need to tell anybody, especially DMs that are doing this, always write down which voice you use, and characters as well, because nothing is more ridiculous when you first meet a person, they have a Scottish accent, and you come by the next week, and they somehow have a German. It just doesn't fly.
Yeah.
You randomly change sides.
I've actually run into that with audiobooks. I've had from one volume to the next the same narrator. Like they forget in book 4 that they used this voice in book 1, and they're suddenly lacking their accent or something, and it's kind of I don't hold it against them, but it's kind
now I've seen players and slip up an accent, but it's usually a really brief thing, and then they bring it back, and that happens to everyone.
Yes.
Unless you've been practicing so long that you can maintain an accent for like 8 hours.
So, guys, what if you wanted to learn a specific accent? What if there was an accent that you thought really fit your character? How would you? And it wasn't one you knew. What would you advise people to do to figure out how to do the accent? Like
YouTube videos.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Voice actors
videos, movies. One of the things I do is like I can do a brief Scottish accent, but I can't do it for very long. One of our Perk members is from Scotland. Steffi Kyle. So whenever I'm talking with them, I listen to how they talk. And that's helped some. That actually, to me, helps more than watching an actor or someone on YouTube who isn't a native speaker of that kind of language or accent.
That makes sense.
You also have to keep in mind many different, this really goes for YouTube and for listening people, just like the USA, which has many different accents within it. Different parts of the world actually have different accents. So Germans, east side, and then to the west side will sound completely different.
There's many different dialects of an accent.
I feel like that's one of my problems. Like the one accent I can sort of pull off. Well, yeah, the one I can sort of pull off is Southern, but I feel like it doesn't ring true of any particular region. Like I think I start out, sounding like Scarlett O'Hara and end up sounding like somebody from Cat on a Hot Tin Roof or something, and I don't really have a consistent. That's my big thing. Is I just don't kind of felt like I struggle with having a consistent accent. So
part of the accent too is you can learn the basis of how they speak if you really want to go into it. Like how Spaniards have more of a on the R, or how some parts of the world, like Japan, they have a hard time pronouncing some of the certain letters that we have in our language. I don't want to. Ours, the R's. Then there you go.
Yeah.
They have a hard time pronouncing. So they'll like literally skip it, or they'll just change how it's supposed to sound. But she knows a lot more about that than I do. What? It would be what? Emily? Emily. Emily. That's how you say your name. Emily. There you go.
Awesome.
Yeah, I definitely recommend people who are really wanting to push accents and voices also study languages.
Mm-hmm.
And how the different countries and cultures would pronounce things, because a lot of things can be picked up just by reading about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess it depends on how you learn, though, too. Some
Yeah.
people just listen to an accent and then they pick it up, and other people, you'll never be able to touch it.
Right. Some people pick up an accent just being with somebody for a really short period of time, but I spent like 3 weeks in New Zealand in high school, and I can't do a New Zealand accent.
I don't even know what that sounds like.
And it's actually kind of funny because I've been told I don't have an accent, and it's just naturally speaking. But that's because I've had to train my voice to be understandable. When I was young, probably just as fast as the guy who used to do the Hot Wheel commercials.
Oh, yeah. That guy was fast.
Yeah, I really talked to that fast, and I never shut up, and I had a very heavy Southern accent.
Oh, wow.
No, I still kind of hear a little bit of accent in your voice.
Yeah, you can hear a little bit, but not like I had back then.
No.
Back then it was, y'all want some green and red peppers? Why don't you come down and have a bowl of grits?
Oh, man. Can you bring that back for a little bit? That's awesome.
You reckon some grits would be good, huh?
Some collard greens and some fried chicken on the stove. You're all welcome to come and have a mighty fine meal.
Y'all come here now.
That's great.
Oh, man.
And that was, back then, was natural for me. Now it's like I have to try to do it just because I've trained my voice away from it.
Does it sneak out when you're around other people from the South?
Sometimes, especially using y'all.
Y'all.
I say that, and I've
That
never
one
lived in
really-
the South.
Yeah, that one really sneaks out a lot.
That one's an easy one to use because it's just handy.
Yeah.
Handy all-purpose.
But I definitely enjoyed Mike and Chad's video. They're a blast to watch and hang out with. And they gave some really good tips.
Yeah, they definitely did. I need to finish watching it, and I really hope to watch the one with Rob Coletta, too. I don't know if there was he solo on that, or did somebody else?
I think it was Chad and Rob together. As kind of a sequel to the BrigadeCon video.
Definitely want to check that out too, but
so is there any other
videos and so little time.
Hard to edit a bit tonight.
Yeah, I think we've covered kind of our take on voices and what we got out of the video pretty well.
We'll post the links to those in the description below for everybody, too. If you want to check those out, we'll make sure to include those links.
Awesome.
Any other news for this week?
Okay. Another thing I would like to bring up is thank you so much, guys, to everybody that came. I had a blast talking to everybody. Sorry we didn't put this in our last video. BrigadeCon was amazing because I got to talk am to meet people that I never thought I'd even get the chance to. And it was awesome hearing so many different voices and takes and opinions on a subject is the same as mine that I've only really would have known one in my own little echo chamber.
Yeah, it was an awesome time. I participating the full 24 hours. Already like 26 hours of no sleep. So I got pretty tired, but I wanted to up to go to sleep for nothing. And I had fantastic time. Several good games I played in, and I DM'd a couple good one-shots. So I did the DMs panel, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Jaren is dedicated.
A great day. My computer happened to come that Friday, so I didn't spend. I hadn't committed myself to very many events. I just signed up for the one game. But I always appreciate that you get an opportunity to either, try a new system or play with people you've never played with before, and or DMs. And last year I did play a system that was new to me, but this year I just played with a DM I hadn't played before. And there wasn't one person at that table that I'd played with before. And so that was really fun. It's just a great opportunity to jump in and do it. And it's, I feel like it's a little less difficult scheduling-wise because you already know the days set aside. And, so it was really fun, and I did catch bits and pieces of different videos, but there's quite a few that I still want to go back and try to watch or finish watching. And I didn't watch even the game that I played in. So, I did watch a little bit of the biker one that you were in, though, Jaren. That was pretty interesting.
Oh, that was actually, I would have said, my favorite played in, not because the others weren't awesome, because of two things. One, it was a system I had never played. Really nice as the DM. It gave me a chance to break out of what I was used to, and I really connected with the character.
That's great.
Strange because it was a pre-gen character.
Oh, wow.
But there was just something about that just really struck home with me, and you could tell if you watched the whole session. Although I didn't get my epic death at the end. I tried.
Yeah. That's okay, though. It definitely sounded fun, and definitely sounded
worked out.
Cool. I ended up winning 2 of the giveaways, so thank you to everybody for all the time and effort into putting BrigadeCon together, and thank you to all the sponsors for the great giveaways you had. I'm really looking forward to checking those out as soon as I get my computer properly squared away.
One of the things that amazed me with BrigadeCon was just how well the community came together. I mean, we raised over double what every other BrigadeCon did.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did a great job.
And it was just awesome to see and be a part of.
And Child's Play is a really great organization, and it's just really fitting. I think they did a really good job picking a charity that really made sense for who we are, in the gaming community, and at the same it's just a really great thing to do. Those kids are, they're in the hospital for a long stay, and having toys and games is really great for them to help pass the time. So, awesome charity, and it was great. It was really great to be a part of that, and earning so much for it as a fundraiser. So,
and one of the things that also was nice for me is I've never had the chance to go to any kind of convention.
Yeah, me either.
So this was my first experience with that kind of setup, and I just loved it.
That's pretty great. It's great.
So,
and it's nice because
well,
you can do it at home in your pajamas, and
exactly.
Walk away when you need to and eat what you want, and it's not expensive, and it's pretty cool. So I hope someday to get to a live con too, but for now I'm happy just to enjoy BrigadeCon. So
exactly. I'm already looking forward to next year.
Me too.
Although I am gonna say right now, I'm only running probably one event next year.
I'm definitely joining
there
more
were
games.
There were so many fantastic games and panels that I didn't get to participate in that I would have loved to be on and participate with, that I just feel running 2 or 3, even 3 events takes up your entire time.
Sure.
Almost.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to rip Nate and get him to run something next year.
Do I
Possibly.
So.
Hey. Anyway, hey, I want to thank you guys for having me, but I gotta get going.
Thanks for joining us.
Hey. So you guys take care. I hope our viewers enjoyed the video, and I will leave you guys to it.
Right. Thanks, Sharon. Bye. So, Nate, I know you had a piece of news that you wanted to share, too, before we wrap up.
Why, yes, I certainly do. Volo's Guide to Monsters is coming out on Amazon. You can buy it right now on sale for $29.97. If you have Prime, that comes with free 2-day shipping. Although you won't get it until the 15th regardless, because that's when it's actually going to be released. I've already read a small part of it. It is awesome. It seems that the team definitely took more leeway with it, and they kind of got a little more funny, and it's more fun to read, and they're more loose with it in a sense, but it still has a lot of good information as new playable characters. Not exactly new characters, but they're playable characters that would otherwise you'd have to find your own way to make them playable. And they just kind of expanded more on all the monsters and made it a little more interesting. And I just kind of got it for inspiration for myself. And because I don't know about you guys as DMs, but one of my favorite parts is actually reading the monster manual and reading about monsters. There are toys.
I try not to read it. I have it, but I try to limit myself to only going in there when I need to, because I don't want to know too much. Like, I want to be surprised when I'm in battles and stuff. But
I'm a cheater, so
it is pretty cool. It's a cool book, and yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing that too. I might go ahead and pick it up as well, because it's kind of hard to beat when Amazon has these great prices. So
they do, and I love Amazon. I promise, Amazon's not paying us to say this. Right.
I think that's it for this week.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate you. Come back next week. We're going to be doing more episodes, and hopefully longer and more in-depth episodes of other topics that we can really find things to rip apart and expand upon.
As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. We really appreciate it, and I know Jaron appreciates it. And I think until next time, may the dice always roll in your favor.
And may the DMs not always roll as much. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.